Welcome to this week's Read the Bible Together story. And again, coming to you from the Spark Story Bible from Sparkhouse Publishing. And our story continues in the Old Testament with probably a familiar one, David and Goliath. And if you're following along at home, you can find it in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 4 through 11 and 32 through 50. So David and Goliath. King Saul and his army looked out from their mountain hideout. Their enemies, the Philistines, were camped on the opposite mountain. In the valley between stood Goliath, the tallest man Saul had ever seen. "Who will fight me?" Goliath roared, waving his spear. "Who can face the mighty Goliath?" he shouted, lifting his sword. Saul and his army were afraid. They could not win against the Philistines. They could not beat Goliath. Surely they would be captured and become slaves. A beam of sunlight bounced off of Goliath's bronze helmet. His voice shook the leaves in the trees, and the birds hid beneath their branches. "Send out your best warrior," Goliath ordered. "Let him fight against me. If I win, you will be our slaves. If your soldier wins, we will serve you and your God." Saul waited. No one stepped forward to take Goliath's challenge. Saul felt a small tug on his sleeve. Looking down, he saw David, a young shepherd boy. "I will do it, King Saul," David said. "I will fight Goliath." "You are a boy. How can you beat a gigantic man like Goliath?" Saul turned to go. Seated. On Saul's room. "Wait, King Saul," David said. "God protects me from the wolves and bears that go after my sheep. God will protect me too." David reached down, picked up 5 smooth stones. In his right hand, he carried the same sling he used to chase away the wolves and wild animals. Saul patted David's head and pointed down the rocky path leading to the valley. Goliath laughed when he saw David. "You are the warrior they send out against me?" David slipped his hand into his pouch and selected a stone. "I am not afraid of your spear and sword, Goliath," David said. "God will help me." David rushed toward Goliath, swinging his sling. The smooth stone flew through the air and hit Goliath in the forehead. Down, 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 Goliath fell. Down fell his sword, down fell his spear, down fell his mighty shield. David picked up Goliath's bronze helmet from the ground and held it high in the air. Saul and all his soldiers rose up with a shout. David, a small shepherd boy, had beaten the mighty Goliath. When the Philistines saw that Goliath had fallen, they were afraid and ran away. Trusting in God gave David courage when he needed it most. So maybe this week, if you find a small, smooth rock, pick it up. Put it in your pocket. Put it on your table beside your bed. And just remember that whenever you feel afraid, you can touch the stone and know that God is with you.